Good morning and welcome to the weekly Team Achieve call. This is Coach Chaz, the founder of Team Achieve and the Upline Diamond Coach. I saw a cool video that kind of sparked a little bit of imagination for me, and it was a cool twist on goal setting. So I thought this would be a good one to share. But first, a shout out to Kaylee, who is at Success Club 4, only a week into the month. So she is 1 point away from number 5. And that will put you at 4 months in a row. That's friggin' awesome, because when you hit 12 months in a row, which, I mean, you are nailing those 5 every single month. Kaylee's actually set a personal goal to hit 10. And this month in particular, 20. So I told her I was going to match her on that, and I'll hit 20 as well. Trailing behind that is Jen Carr at 2 points. And I actually am a prime example of a bad way to start the month, and I had a return. So I'm at -1. But I've had this happen several times in the past. I've started months at -3, but because I want it bad enough and I put in the work to do it, I'm going to make it happen. So technically, I'm going to get 21 points to match that 20. So moving into today, we are going to talk about designing your perfect day. So the coolest part about this whole thing is Amy Silverman is obviously top 10 coach. She's number 10 in the company right now. And she always says, design your life. And it's always resonated with me because that's how I live pretty much my daily life now. I know that I wake up and I get to design however I want to live it. So when I saw this video, it was just a very quick, brief overview. It barely touched base on this, but the idea behind it was phenomenal. So designing your perfect day. This is a really cool twist on goal setting, because if you think about when you write down your goals, right? Or even something like this, a vision board, goal board. You write down these big, extravagant goals, but then your brain, it's funny, this is all based on how your brain works. And your brain, when it looks at these big goals, it almost keeps asking the question, how am I going to make that happen? How long is it going to take? So it's nice to have that vision board and to know what big goals you want to achieve. But when I just did this myself, and I'm going to share with you guys what I wrote down. When I did this, you can almost feel your brain working in a different sense, where you write down what your perfect day would look like, and your brain starts to look at that whole schedule and think, okay, I'm going to make this happen. What if I do this to make this time slot happen, and et cetera? I'll explain that in a minute. So this was just a really cool approach to it. So there's 2 rules when doing this. When you're designing your perfect day, rule number 1 is no financial restrictions. Because when you're writing down your perfect day, you may think, oh, I can't, if you love to go bowling and you want to do it every single day, but you find yourself going, oh, I can't afford that. Don't think in that sense. This is thinking in the future when you are financially free. So finances, do not even worry about them. If you want to go out and give $500 a day to homeless people, if that's one of your big goals, put it down. It doesn't matter about finances. Rule number 2, this is a key one. When you design your perfect day, you have to live that day every day for the rest of your life. So you want to make sure you put stuff in that day that you are most passionate about and that you have the most fun doing and that brings you fulfillment in your life. That's a key one, because if you put down stuff in your perfect day that you don't necessarily like doing, then you're probably going to be miserable if you have to live that every single day. So step 1, I want you guys, whether you're watching the recording right now, follow along and do this. If you're watching the recording or if you're on the live call right now, just very vaguely, don't put per hour. We're going to look at an overview first. So just make a few bullet points and design your perfect day for a minute. So obviously stuff like workout, if you want to go out and volunteer at shelters or anything like that, think about these bullet points and just jot those down real quick. Probably think of 5. And like I said, if you're watching the recording, go ahead and just hit pause and follow along with this. Write down those bullet points of designing your perfect day. Now with this, I also want you guys to write down on your perfect day, what time would you wake up and what time would you go to bed? On your perfect day. This is a key one. And I hope nobody's putting down wake up at noon, go to bed at midnight. So you guys on the live call, give me a thumbs up when you got a few of those written down. Awesome. Now, this is a little assignment I wanted to throw out there. So you guys have a basic layout of your perfect day, right? Now I want you to put 3 to 5 bullet points. So if you have your perfect day list right here, kind of like a pros and cons, next to it, I want you to write down a few bullet points of what your realistic day looks like right now. And the biggest thing is cut out the BS. Don't put down that you're waking up at 6 in the morning if you are not waking up at 6 in the morning consistently. This is about being real and truthful with yourself, because this is where the growing process can happen if you're real with yourself. What does a realistic day look like for you right now? If you find yourself being stressed all day long, write down stressed. Put down these bullet points. Sleeping in, waking up late, going to bed late, write down these realistic bullet points. So like I said, this is a different twist to goal setting, because it's going to make your brain start to think a little bit more. So now you can see what a perfect day looks like compared to what your day does look like right now. And your brain's going to start thinking about ways to improve rather than looking at this big goal that's maybe 5 years down the road. That's just how our human body likes to work. Our brains are constantly trying to solve problems. So if they look at that contrast of a perfect day versus reality, your body's going to try to figure out a way to make that happen, right? So when designing my perfect day, there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can design your perfect day based around what your life looks like now, and you can also design your perfect day 5 years down the road. So for myself, for example, if I were to have done this a year ago, it would not be the same, because a year ago I was working full time. So in my perfect day a year ago, I would have to put, let's say 9 to 5 on my schedule at my job. I would have to work around that schedule. So that's one thing you can do now. If you have a job to go to, make sure you include that schedule in there now, but then make a separate perfect day based on time freedom, where you no longer have a boss to go to. So a year ago, I would have loved to have woken up at 5:30 in the morning. That never happened a year ago, I can tell you that. If I had to work at 9, I was awake at 8:15, just enough time to shower and get my butt to work. And I would get home, I would try to squeeze in my workout. I was pretty inconsistent a year ago, and that's kind of how I just ran my life. I would wake up and just go with the flow. And now I'm a very scheduled type person. I have to have pretty much my whole phone is always just appointments. My workouts are scheduled, my personal development time, client calls, all of that stuff is scheduled for me. So designing my perfect life now, because I do have time freedom. I've been blessed by Beachbody to have that time freedom now. My perfect day would be wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and that's something I'm currently working towards. I've been hitting 6 o'clock, which is still, it boggles my mind. I've been hitting that. So I'm working towards 5:30. Like every week I'm setting it back by 10 minutes or so, trying to work towards that 5:30 mark. And this is how you baby step it to hit those goals. So 5:30 in the morning, I wake up and I do 30 minutes of yoga. 6 to 8 a.m. would be my morning routine, which is something I do now. My morning routine consists of I wake up, and first thing I do is a water bomb, 16 to 24 ounces of water. Boom. Just to get that cleansing process started in your body. Next up, I would eat a small breakfast. I would do up to an hour of personal development, depending on how the day looks. And then I would bust out my workout. And by the time this all rolls around, 8 a.m. And usually I'll do one, if I have a YouTube video scheduled for the day, I'll do that post workout because that's when my motivation is typically highest. So that's between 6 and 8 in the morning. 9 to 10 a.m. would be, I guess, yeah, that's how I look now. My perfect day, 6 to 8 a.m. would be a morning routine consisting of a lot of personal development stuff and reflecting on my goals in the day. Then moving into 9 o'clock after my morning routine would be a workout with friends. And I put that because working out by myself is great, but we all push each other so much more when we have just 2 or 3 people together, right? We've all had those types of workouts where you have somebody next to you and you think, oh, I can't slack now. There's somebody watching. So it makes you push that much harder. So I think it would be fantastic to have a group of 2 or 3 friends that all get together every morning at 9 o'clock and bust out a workout. That's our daily routine. I would love to be able to do that. Next up would be 10 to 12 would be Beachbody products, Beachbody program projects or massage. So if I have any, I call them program projects. If I have, like right now, 21 Day Fix. So that's kind of my program project. Everything's based around that. I'm starting up my blogs this week. I got the layout. I have somebody designing one right now. So I have my program projects would be 21 Day Fix related right now. A couple months ago, it was all P90X related. So that's where the projects come into play. Or massage, because I still love doing massage therapy. Beachbody's blessed me in the sense that that is my full-time income now. So I don't have to rely on massage to pay the bills, which is great because it brought my passion back for it that I had lost. So between 10 and 12 is when I would get all those projects done. Between 12 and 1, I would break and go have lunch with my wife. This is based on her still having a full-time schedule because when she's not going to be working anymore, she's going to be doing full-time school. So I would break for lunch to be able to have that with her. 1 to 3 p.m. would be client check-ins because that's one of the best rewards about doing coaching full-time is that time I get to spend on the phone with my coaches, my clients, giving them advice, helping them through their struggles. That's kind of the meat and potatoes of this whole thing, right? We're here to help people. And between 1 and 3 would be dedicated every single day to act just strictly phone calls, video chats. If they're local, I'd meet up with them, but I want to be able to help those people throughout that time. 3 to 5 p.m. This is also a huge, huge one for me. Getting outdoors with friends and family. And this is all based on something I've been doing lately where I had my little adventures club that I started. So we go out and we play tennis, we play basketball. It's getting nicer out now. The rain is going away finally. So I want to get out and start doing some weekly hikes. So what time did I put? 3 to 5 p.m. would be strictly for that. Next up would be 5 to 6 p.m. As you guys can see, after doing all of this stuff, that's a lot crammed into a day already. So from 5 to 6 p.m. is when Trista would get off work. So that would be my time to shut the computer off, turn my phone off. She would come through the door typically at 5 p.m. and all distractions aside, we would just chill out. I can ask her about her day. She can unload that stress from her job and all that kind of stuff. So 5 to 6 p.m. would just be relaxation with Trista. And then 6 to 7 p.m. would be dinner. And on a perfect day, I've got a grill outside that I am addicted to. And I just put up an awning. I'm going to be building a fire pit. So my perfect dinner is going to be grilling outside. Even have a few friends or family over too. Then after that, 7 to 9 p.m. is relaxation. Preferably is going to be by the fire pit. So get a few chairs put up, we got these things, anti-gravity chairs, which are pretty cool, really comfortable. So once I build that fire pit, my perfect relaxation would be just chilling by the fire, or pop in a movie, go out to a movie, something like that. Something where it's just no Beachbody, no massage, no clients. It's just me and Trista relaxing. Or if we have a few friends over, just chilling out. After that, 9 to 9:30 would be personal development, and 9:30 would be bed. That's a lot of stuff. But you could see I included a little bit of everything that makes me happy. I'm able to still do a massage if I have one scheduled. I'm able to check in with my clients. I get my workout done. Of course, I'm squeezing in my meals throughout all that stuff. But for the most part, you want to add stuff that you're passionate about that makes you feel happy. And that would be my perfect day right now. And like I said, I'm blessed enough to have the time freedom to follow this schedule. And so after writing this down this morning, I wrote this down without thinking about the fact that I can do this right now. This little routine I wrote down, I have the time freedom to do this. So you can see how I said in the beginning, doing something like this makes your brain think in a little bit of a different way about goals. And so when I looked at the schedule, I thought, you know what? I'm doing a modified version of that right now, but I haven't been this strict on myself. And so I looked at that after I wrote it down literally about 20 minutes ago, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to start making that my goal to make this happen, because once this first one happens, I'm able to focus on a new one based on when I fire Trista's boss and she's going to school. So that was a pretty cool little thing that I did. So that's why I wanted to share it with you guys today, because I think if you can write down some sort of dream schedule, we all have that dream job or that dream life, but if you can design your perfect day, it's going to cause your brain to try to make that happen. More so than just having, like back here, pictures on a board. They're great visuals. They're great reminders. I reflect on that thing every day, but this makes it tangible. Writing down some sort of dream day is going to make a tangible reason for your brain to start working towards it. So aside from that, you guys like that so far? Thumbs up? Awesome. So if you did not follow along, take all the advice I said about this stuff and just make it happen. And like I said, it's right along the sense of goal setting. It's a little bit of a different twist on it. This may work for you. This may not. Some people cannot do a schedule, and I totally understand that. Some people have to wake up and not have – this stuff can be a little stressful. I won't lie. Because if, like I'll put right here, 5:30 a.m., wake up and do yoga. If I wake up at 5:45, it's going to be a little stressful because in my mind I'm thinking I missed that 5:30 wake up. But make sure you have a little bit of leeway in your day too, because this is a perfect day. Will you make it the exact perfect day you wrote down every single day? No. Life happens. We have stuff pop up last minute, family emergencies, all of this stuff pops up. But as long as you're striving your best to make this perfect day, this perfect schedule happen, I can promise you, you will be so much more consistent than you probably have been in the last couple months. I know for myself, looking at this, I thought I've been pretty consistent the last week or two. And after writing this down, I go, yeah, I definitely have room for improvement. I know that, and I fully accept it. So I'm going to start striving for this particular schedule I wrote down. So aside from that, you guys have any questions? Awesome. This has been a short one today, very short. It's actually pretty powerful if you actually just take the time to do this. I know it's so easy to watch these types of videos and these recordings and just follow along and go, oh, that's a good idea. I'm telling you, if you take the time to actually do this and make it realistic for yourself, it will help. So if you need to rewatch this video, if you need to hit pause 1,000 times, do it. Just make sure you put some type of schedule down. And a call to action for this is write down your dream day. And like I said, there's two different ones you can do. You can do your dream day or your perfect day based on how your work schedule looks now. And you can do a separate one for how it will be in 5 years, 3 to 5 years. That's usually the time it takes to build some type of full-time income. So you can write down those two schedules. The call to action would be post this inside the group. I'm going to take a picture of the one I wrote down today and post those inside the group so we can all see what each other's goals are, right? Because we're here as a team to lift each other up and to help each other achieve those. So I'll be taking a picture of mine. I hope for those of you on the live call who saw this first, you can work on this a little bit after the call and get that posted in the group. motivate some people to get theirs posted. This has been Coach Chaz. I appreciate you guys for taking time out of your day to be on the live call. Peace out.